Guy from SeaKing Boats, North Queensland, and today is the much awaited Mercury versus Yamaha test. So we built and shipped two identical boats, so the black with the tan that you see behind me, and we did the water test on Ryan's boat a few weeks ago with the V8 ProXS 300 horsepower Mercury. We did all the stats in the river here and the smooth water test. So we're going to replicate the exact same test going up in 200 RPM increments, but this time with a 300 horsepower Yamaha. Same size prop, we've got the 15 pitch prop, which is also fitted on the Mercury. So let's see the comparison and see how it all performs. Okay, so we're here in the Ross River with the identical boat that we fitted the 300 horsepower ProXS Mercury V8 4.6 litre. Obviously this we've opted to the Yamaha, the 300 horsepower 4.2 litre V6. So one thing we haven't sort of mentioned yet, well, owners are reporting back to us with the Mercury owners that they are getting better fuel economy and higher top end speed once they're out in the open water, and obviously the motors have been running a little bit more. And the Mercury's with their lean burn technology and the ProXS versions, once you've been cruising for 5 to 6, 7 minutes at a constant rate, it reduces the firing to give you that lean burn technology. So obviously we don't have the ability in the Ross River to stay up on the plane for that length of time for the Mercuries to work. But anyway, we'll give it a fair comparison, and we'll fire this up and we'll do the comparison with the noise first. We'll start with that. Okay, so we'll kick her over. Actually at idle it's quite quiet. Probably not much difference there at idle. I think once we get up on the plane and sort of start going, especially with the GoPro, we'll be able to give a good comparison to the sound. All right, let's see how we go. Now with the Mercury, we got it up to 3,200 revs, we're doing about 40k an hour at about 1.4, 1.5 kilometers per litre. So we'll see what this one can do. So again, we've opted to go the dash mount controls on this one as well. It's 28 RPM. Not quite on the plane, we'll just let it sit there a bit. Give it a bit of trim. That's 30 RPM. We are sitting at 31 RPM, at 36.5 kilometers per hour on 1.6. We did have it at 1.7 just before, so that's using 23 litres per hour, taking up to 32. So now we're hitting nearly 40 kilometres an hour, using 24 litres, 1.6, just with an extra 100 RPM. So 3,200 RPM, doing 28 kilometres per hour, not quite sitting on top of the water, using 22 litres of fuel. So we'll take it. We're right on 40 now. That's 3,400 RPM, still at 1.6, up to 42 kilometers an hour. 3600 RPM now, 34 kilometers per hour, burning about 23 litres of fuel per hour. So a very comfortable cruising speed there. It's still at 1.5 litres, about 45 k an hour. It's the end of our run. Next one we'll get it up to 3600. 3600 RPM, fair bit of trim, 45 kilometers an hour, using 1.5, so still really good fuel economy there. 36, we're going to take up to 38 now. So 36 RPM, about 40 kilometers an hour. RPM, just short of 50 kilometers an hour, 1.3 kilometers per litre, really good cruising speed. RPM, using 1.3 litres of fuel per kilometre, 50 kilometres an hour. RPM, about 45 kilometres an hour, using about 33 litres per hour. We'll take it up to 42. Okay, 4400 RPM, 55 kilometres an hour, and we drop down to 1.1. Okay, so 4600 revs, fair bit of trim, 56 to 57 kilometres per hour, we drop down to 1.1 kilometres per litre. Take it up to 48. And there we are at 4600, doing 53, 52 kilometers per hour, burning about 45. We dropped to 1 litre per kilometre and just about 60 kilometres an hour. That's pretty bad for 300 horsepower. So 5,000 RPM right on the dot. Still sitting around 61 kilometres, still 1-1. And 59 kilometres per hour, 58, 59. Using 53 litres. About 1.2 kilometres per litre. a whole shot test and see how she goes. Okay, 3, 2, 1. So that prop test was an absolute success. The guys at Coral Coast Yamaha have fitted the prop perfectly. We're reaching just right on that 6,000 RPM. For me, I think I'd probably, it's a 15 pitch. I'd love to see a 17 on it and maybe just drop a little bit of RPM off, but it's got so much bottom end torque. That whole shot was absolutely freaking ridiculous. But yeah, all in all, it's just fantastic motor. About 60 kilos heavier than the Merc. Definitely a lot louder, and I think you'll pick it up on the GoPros once we do the comparison shots as well. But when you're getting up around that 4,000 RPM, is not really having a conversation with the big Yami in the back. But mate, she's a great motor. So next time we do it, we'll be out on the open water, and we'll have the two boats side by side, Mercury versus Yamaha. So stay tuned for Mercury versus Yamaha version 2. During the course of putting this video together, we realised that the microphones were on a slightly different setting. So at the beginning, it may seem that the Mercurys are quite substantially louder, but you'll see by the sound of my voice and the background noise that the Yamaha creates that the Yamaha is definitely substantially louder, especially once you get up over 4,000 RPM. What was also very evident to us is the performance of the Yamaha in the lower rev range. I was definitely getting between 4 and 7 kilometers per hour better speed at the lower rev range, whereas the big Mercury V8 didn't like sitting at the under 4,000. It really wanted to get up and go. And once we're hitting that 4.5, 5,000 rev range, the Mercury V8 came into its own. So check it out and see what you think.